Psalms 55 says, give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not thyself from my supplication. Attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint and make a noise. Now, this is what my father would make me read when I was bad. I skipped school, got caught, got a whooping, and I gotta go read this. What they got to do with skipping school? I don't know. He just wanted me to read the Bible. That book called the Bible. He just wanted me to read it. Just read it. It's important to read the scriptures. Let's see what it has to say. So you go on and read. It said, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is sore pained within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Fearful and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me. And I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then would I fly away and be at rest. Lo, then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness. Selah. I love that. 6 and 7. And I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then would I fly away and be at rest. That's how I felt when I was in prison. Oh, man, serving that time. Oh, I wish I had wings like a dove. I could just fly over the barbed wire fences. I couldn't stand being in that place some days. Some days you have some dark days. And there don't be nothing wrong. There ain't nothing even going on in your life. Now, nobody's oppressing you. No, everybody's in a good mood. But you could be in prison some days. And you be the one that's got the black cloud over you. Oh, man, it's some dark days in prison. Even in the best days of prison, sometimes you can have some bad times. And times where you just wish you was gone. Sometimes people wish they were dead. Don't want to be alive anymore in prison. Because prison could be a dark wilderness with no food, no water, no family, no hope, no friends, no nothing. Even when you got abundance of friends, you can be alone in that place. There are lonely days. You have 150 friends in that place, and you could be lonely on certain days. Lo, then would I wander far off, verse 7, and remain in the wilderness. I could get away from it all, far from human society, which though ordinarily desirably has now become so corrupt that a solitary waste is preferable or more preferred than it. This world is society. You'd rather be in a waste place, a lonely place. I used to rather go to hole than to be in the regular population of the prison sometimes. I'd rather be in hole. Let me get on out of here. Because some people just really, prison is not prison without people. Because when there are no people there, it's not prison. You see, I was in the prison one time when it was 2006, and it changed over the whole penitentiary. It went from close security to medium security. And when it switches like that, there are certain guidelines and certain criteria that you have to meet in order to be classified as medium security type of inmate or a close security inmate, close being the higher risk and medium being the lower risk. Okay, so they went from close and I switched over to medium. So now I'm a medium risk inmate, so all the close security inmates moved out. And that's pretty much the whole penitentiary, except a handful of people. Wasn't even nobody there. We had a pod that housed about 160 people, and it was only like 10 people there in the whole house. The pod I was in, that was just one pod. And it wasn't even prison. It wasn't even prison. You go out in the day room, just be you out there, maybe a CEO. And when you see all these inmates, these buddies, these people that weren't even your friend, maybe, they'll be friends with you. They say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, what's the weather supposed to be? It's supposed to be warm today. You'll sit and be talking to this guy you never talked to ever. Never would talk to him when everybody else was there. But now, there's nobody here. See, you're friends with people that you would never be friends with. And you be friends with these people, and you're friends with everybody. You shake hands with anybody walking past you. Hey, man, how you doing? You don't walk past anybody saying hello. It's just y'all in this wilderness, this lonely place. 10 people in the penitentiary, in the pod you in, man, that. You got to say hi to somebody. You surprised to see anybody. Like, hey, you you want a child? What they having up there? You're just making up conversations. You be like, man, I think they're having baked potatoes and hot dogs. Oh, man, go up there, man. You walk. What time you going? I'm going. Yeah, you gonna walk up with me? Yeah, I'm going up there. You know, this person you would never talk to. But when the people start coming to prison, when they start moving them in, it's all right at first. Then people start making alliances, friendships, buddy systems. Then they start working against each other. Pot's back full again. You got a group of guys, they don't like this group of guys over here. Then this group of guys get together, they don't like them. They all was friends for the first 2 or 3 weeks. Then they start talking about each other. And now they breaking up. Everybody sacked off. I go on back to where I've been doing. That means preaching to the people, passing out Bible tracts, and people begin to like it, but after so long, they hate it. They don't like it anymore once they get their friends together. The people that I was talking to at first, being real happy with when it was 10 people in the pod, don't even speak to them anymore, don't even look their way. I don't know why. It's just like that. That's just how it is today. And we never speak again. But you're friends when nobody's there. But what makes prison is the people. The people who are in your atmosphere. The people who are surrounding you in your group, your circle, wherever you are. People make a place prison or they can make it a paradise. It just depends on who you're around. Amen. So that's why I wanted to get out of there and fly away like a dove here. 8 says, I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go about it upon the walls. There are mischief also and sorrow in the midst of it. Wickedness is in the midst thereof, deceit and guile. Depart not from her streets. My father used to tell me, I was deceitful. He always say, bloody and deceitful men should not live out half their days. He would always say that. That's verse 23 as we read on later. But that's what he said. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. He would always scream that and spit that at me. Every time I did something. Every time he blamed me for something. Every time somebody said I did something when I didn't do nothing. He would say, now you know, boy. I'm telling you right now, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days now, boy. Now you know. I told you that. So I listened like, man, bloody and deceitful, man. What does that mean? Bloody. The bloody part, it talks about people who kill people. People that murder people. People that do injurious crimes to people and hurt people. I said, I'm not that kind of person. And deceitful. That's what he called me, though. Deceptive. Those who mislead. You're always doing something to mislead someone. Making someone think this when it's really that. Hollywood is full of it. When we went to go visit LA, and Hollywood is full of deception. Nothing's real. Nothing you see through that television screen is real. It's all a set or something. Everything's on a set. They can make these places look real. You watch people's TV shows, like some TV show, like Seinfeld, Roseanne. Think of just places like Gilligan's Island and things. Those are all sets. You go to CBS studio, NBC studio, they have sets for that. And it looks like it's a real house. It looks like it's a real kitchen, the refrigerator with all the boxes of cereal up there. All that's one piece. You can grab one box. It'll be a whole box of cereal and crackers and things. You grab one thing, the whole thing come out. Like, you just grab it. Boom, the whole box of cereal, all the cereals come out. It's just one little piece of cardboard. Designed and chiseled out into a bunch of, and make it look real. Plates and things they're eating. Ching, ching. When I was younger, we watched a TV show where they had the kitchen table, and they were always, the plates, the silverware always hit the plates real hard. Like, clink, clink, clink. They be eating, clink, 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 clink. You hear all that, like, why is they making all that noise? But you're acting and pretending and performing. They're deceiving you, making you think something is real when it's not. You weren't really doing anything. There's so many people today in the church, deceivers. People who are living, as children like I was, deceivers. I used to try to deceive my parents all the time. Why? I don't know. But I just did. I didn't want them knowing what I was doing. It was my business what I did, I felt. I felt like it was my business. Give me 12. For it was not an enemy that reproached me. So I go in and just start reading. I'm like, what does this got to do with me? then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man of mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. Who was it that did you wrong? My equal. Somebody like me, my guide. Somebody helped me, and mine acquaintance. Somebody I was friends with. I kicked it with him. We took sweet counsel together. Sweet counsel, what's that? A group where everyone both shares and rejoices in what is being discussed and or done. We took sweet counsel together. We kicked it and walked them to the house of God in company. We went to church together. Let death seize upon them. Let them go down quick into hell. For wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. Now, these scriptures are very important. That's why my mom and them always tell me, read Psalms. When people do dirt to you, people setting up traps for you. When you're in the court system and the judges and the prosecutors, you got to be understanding they be against you. They'll be your enemies. If you're a person and you are going to jail, listen, man, you might have committed a crime. You might have did something wrong. Maybe you did 2 wrongs. Maybe you did 3 or 4. Okay? But when you go to that court system, they against you. They trying to kill you. They trying to put you away for good. They could. They don't care about you. And some of that is not of God. Okay? God is about justice. He's about doing what's right. Righteous judgment. And some of these prosecutors and these attorneys, especially the public pretenders, the public defenders, them the ones that be trying to fool you. They make you think they're working for you, and you're not working for you. They're working against you. And you don't have a clue. And that's why you read the Psalms. And the Psalms is God coming through and helping you. He will come through on his word. You start reading it. You say, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, just read it. A lot of times I just read the Psalms. And that's it. I didn't even do what it said. I just read it 3 or 4 times. Now, I ain't trying to tell you go back and read the Bible 3 or 4 times in a row on them scriptures. But I did it. I ain't saying that'll work for you. I'm just saying it worked for me. It worked for me. Read the Psalms. Read Proverbs so that you can get some information on what the Bible is talking about. You got to start figuring out how to pray. The Psalms teach us how to pray. That's one thing it did do. It taught me. And you say, you can't pray against people like that. Yes, you can. If somebody doing you wrong, if somebody coming against you, you doing the wrong thing, they're doing the wrong thing, then you trying to do what you can do, you trying to make a change in your life, and people's trying to set you up, go to the Psalms and just start reading it. He said, verse 15, let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell. For wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. Wickedness is there. Wickedness. Some people have wicked ideas for you. And you got to pray these prayers. And you say that if they ain't doing nothing against you, then this stuff ain't going to happen to them. You could pray this, but if they ain't doing it wrong, ain't nothing going to happen to them. But if they are, then you said your prayers on them. Just by reading. Look at verse 16. As for me, I will call upon God. You better be doing that. And the Lord shall save me. It don't come. I didn't just read Psalms, shut the book, and then go out and do what I wanted to do. No, I read the Psalm, and I also pray. I talk to God in my own prayers. These are prayers. The Psalms are prayers. But I will also talk to him in my own prayer. I got to talk to him too. This is King David's words. I look at him, read them, line myself up to him, see things and feel things that I felt that he feels through his writings. And I say, I feel the same way. I need to say this. This is what I feel. Man, this is good information. I feel the same way, King David. Even though I ain't went through the things he went through. He probably went through so many things that fear came upon him so bad, he didn't know what. He probably fainted if it wasn't for the Lord. He said that once somewhere. He said, I have fainted unless I believe to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That's Psalms 27, sure did, 13 and 14. Psalm 27, 13 and 14. I had fainted. I would have gave up. I would have just gave up and surrendered to the devil. Died. If I had not believed in the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. You need a pillow?
No.
Okay. It said, as for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall